as tuning into broadcasts and listening to other platforms and so forth and creators. And I was following along with what Justin on Clutch Them Pearls was saying, and he was showing messages, and then it got to a point where he showed a message that, am I hearing this right? Because if this is true, it would explain everything. Let's talk for a minute. Yeah, we are live. 1111 True Crime here. Who's all with me today? Allison, hello. Mrs. Bartman, good to see you. Prime Candy, Shauna, Amy. Hey, Rach, Jennyville, Nikki, UK Star. Winters, good to see you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Debbie Casardo. All right, you guys. So let's get on to this message that I'm still kind of like, what? I don't fully get it. Let's go to a different one. That's coming up next, but there'll be a short delay on that. No. I'll get it. There we go. It's horrible. All right. So, Jack and Lilly Sullivan are 4 and 6 years old, missing from Lansdowne Station in Nova Scotia, Canada. And they were reported missing on May 2nd. That's as much as we know. The rest of it is so blurry that you might as well just put a blindfold on and try to feel your way through this case. So there's so much hearsay, there's so many rumors, but if this is true, this could explain everything. So this is bizarre because I started doing a little research into this idea of someone having the concept of revert upside down someone because it helps them get tired and fall asleep much faster. And it's a thing, and it's very, very dangerous. Do not ever do that. But there's this idea amongst some people that it can help slow the child down. Well, yeah, but it can also be fatal. And so I'm not sure where this all came out and how it all connected. So take everything I'm sharing with you with a grain of salt. But because that is a concept that some idiots would possibly try, and it is even called out on some parents that have hyperactive or autistic children may try to do something like that. Don't do that. Now, there are some times when being upside down for a few minutes is good for the body. It decompresses the spine and all kinds of wonderful things. But it's also, your lungs are made a certain way that they're the softest tissue in your body. And your other organs weigh a great deal, truth train coming through. And so being upside down, it can cause asphyxia. It can also cause, as you and I both know from hanging upside down at the playground on the monkey bars, it can cause all the blood to rush to this part of the body. So in theory, well, it's fact too, that the longer the person's held upside down, the more of the blood goes on this side of the body, and the heart can no longer regulate to pump the blood back up, and you can have arrhythmia, you can have a heart attack, right? Stop the heart. There are some that believe that that's a form of discipline. I believe it's a form of torture. Right, Mrs. Bartman, torture is not a form of discipline. Right. But some idiot that's really controlling and thinks he's got it all figured out might try something stupid without realizing it until, I don't know, maybe they came in the house at midnight. Maybe they got up and remembered that they had left somebody in a upside down position. And then when they found the child wasn't alive. Or think of the straps. Well, let's get into this. All right, let's talk about the message. Renee Harper Maytox, he never researched anything. He's evil, and so is their mom, in your opinion. Thank you for sharing. Passion Flower says, I really think the children were abused badly. It's scary. Okay. Now, some of you know I pull cards. Some of you know I get gut feelings. Some of you know that I'm very spiritually connected to the universe. And whenever I get some solid gut feelings, I may not understand how the process got there, but there's certain things I just have a feel. And all of you know, if you've been with me over a hot minute, like 3 videos at the most, that since the beginning of this, I have sensed that Jack met his demise. Like I can connect with little Jack real solid. One of the things I've always suspected, and if you know me and you follow both channels, you'll know why, but Lights Out to me was always like no more air, right? No more air. So that really bothers me when then later, months and months after I've been saying I can't connect with Jack, and my gut, you know, what does an inspector use? Their gut. Okay, so it starts off, now this is Justin with Clutch Them Pearls, and he talks about these messages from Kiki. So allegedly Kiki, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't even have a full handle on this part, so like I said, grain of salt, is related to Wade. Who in the world's Wade, right? Okay, so the children's mother, Malaya, her mother, so it'd be the children's grandmother's boyfriend or husband. So, I mean, I don't know. There's some things, but I don't know if she's connected. How do we know this is Kiki? How do we know that this is somebody really connected? How do we know? Hey, Viv, you're in the bath. Just don't drop your phone in the tub. Danielle Mullet, what? I'll call you Diane. We'll just not. I don't think I can say your last name. Chat's flying. MBM knows she let the abuse happen. Criminal child neglect and abuse charges at minimum, and they need to be locked up now, in your opinion. This has just left me like gobstopped. Like I was watching it last night and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch a little Justin while I take my socks off and get, you know, get things settled in. And I found myself like holding one sock going, what? What is this? So I rewound it like 5, 6, maybe 10 times. And I'm like, I don't understand who is saying this. So I never got a grasp if the part that will be coming up is Kiki or not. I was like, what? But what is said is so accusational, number one. Number two, if it is true, oh my goodness. I can't imagine this being more horrible. Okay? So we know that Daniel talked about turning the light on at midnight, but he didn't know what the kids were wearing. But he knew they were both in their beds at midnight because he turned the light on. That's always been weird. And remember, a lie is not a complete separation from the truth. It's the manipulation of the truth. So if you're checking on the children at midnight, Daniel, the question is, what did you find, really? Because this gets disturbing. You feel me, you guys? Hey, JB. If true, I agree. Anyone who knew, and see, a lot of you were watching, and did not report or intervene is complicit. I guess we need to wait for some sort of validation. That's why I'm saying take this with a grain of salt. Because I don't even have the name of who wrote it. So, hold on. But this has me, like, choked. I'm choked. Yeah, what's going on, you guys? If there's only 76 likes, there's 200 of you. Please take a second. I'll wait right here. I'll be all charming and lovely, and I'll read this to you while you go hit the like button. Forgive me. Kiki says, as soon as Malaya changed her profile to single, after the kids went missing, she was talking to someone who had a romantic interest in her. That's red flag. Number one, because how are you trying to move on so quickly when your kid's been missing for a few weeks? I would ask that of both of them. Not even a month. This time period was when Malaya still had Meadow at her mother's. I don't think it was the same person as before, but she's officially in a relationship now. Now, we don't have timestamps, y'all. Who's Braden or Brandon Cross from Stewankie? I may have said that place wrong. How could someone be attracted to her, this person asks. So is Kiki a relative? Because and where'd she get all this from? Okay. Someone tell me how Kiki is in this. Because I couldn't quit. Lynn says, I got my deck. It was delivered. My cousin just wasn't sure if she could drop it off, so she's slam shipping. OMG, it's gorgeous. Well, thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I'm so happy for you. You think drugs were involved, Louise? Nikki Wakely says, hi, everybody. I'm catching up. Well, good deal. Good deal. I missed you guys. Hey, Mark's World. Okay. Diane says, since the room was divided, was there a door between the wall also? If so, does the same light glow on both sides? If door, did he have to go through it to see Jack's bed? If room divided, can he see both? Yeah, I want to know too. So she says all that, and then Kiki also is talking to someone else. Now, we don't have a timestamp. I have no validation of who Kiki is. Rumor is that she's related to Wade, and she talked about her father here. Is Wade the father? I don't know. Is this a half-sister to Malaya? No, it wouldn't be a half because Wade's not related. So this would just be Wade's daughter, maybe? I don't know. Jenny was raking the driveway because she was out on lookout, says Mrs. Bartman. Oh, could be. It could be. Okay. Kiki says, I didn't think it was nice for Belinda to bring up Cindy's name and saying she never did enough for her grandkids and her own kids, and that she never intervened to have the kids removed from the bad homes like Belinda's sons and Daniel when she did both. So I think this is someone related to Wade. That was wild. And yes, Belinda did confirm the dirty diaper bags in the basement. How nasty is that, y'all? And I heard about the abuse from my father. So I'm thinking this. That's all it is thoughts, right? My opinion that this is Wade's daughter, but I have nothing to validate it. My Chaz froze. There it goes. Aw. Lynn says, beautiful cardstock. Best early gift. Well, thank you, lovely. Loving Life says, I believe Kiki is innocent and repeated what she was told. Yeah, that's what I think too. Lynn, thank you. I'm so glad that Lynn's order came in right now while we're on the live, because she's like giving me the best customer review. She says, highly recommended 1111 True Crime deck. OMG, the little casing it came in. Let me pin chat. You talked me into it. Hold on, let's pin chat. That is so cute. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Let me move it over so y'all can see it. There we go. We'll repair it. There. Thank you, Lynn. I do love my decks. As you can see, I love packaging things, so I have a lot of fun with it. Francis Delgarno. Hi, everybody. And Mama D made it on the... Oh, you made it for a live the first time. That's awesome. Janie is my #1 suspect, but now Daniel is. So Janie was my #1 suspect up until today. All right, so this is Kiki, and she allegedly would be Wade's relative, which is the boyfriend or lover or husband, I can't keep track, of Cindy, the grandma of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, from the mother's side, Malia's side. Aw, thank you, Allison. Look at you guys. You're just amazing. Oh, I turned it on. It took me to the site. Okay, I do. I think I'm on to something with Jamie. I do. I think I am. I think I'm on something. But check this out, you guys. My packaging is fancy in these items because I want you to feel like you are being treated with such love and care, because you are. And so that's why I put little hidden treasures in there and little notes. It's just things I do from my heart, because I want you to feel wonderful when you open what you purchased. I want you to feel wonderful, because it's all about, cleaning the energy, and I don't know. That's why I do it, because I'm in love with you. Okay, Wade's daughter, allegedly. I'm not the only one that thought that. Thank you, Dragonfly Lover. Hey, Star Winters. Good to see you. Nikki says, when you look at the pics of the kids, they look like they have lost weight and are withdrawn. I think you're right, Angie. Both sides of the family do. I think they're all guilty. So nobody can come at me on my channel ever and be like, you side with Malaya, or you side with Daniel, or you side with Janie, because I think they all know. I think they're all in it together. One's like, I'm going to say I heard the kids. And Janie is like, I'm going to say I heard the kids. I know. But if I don't, Daniel's going to go to jail. Right? We're all going to go to jail. So, then you got Malaya, who's playing the, I'm going to go have fun and forget about all this crap, including the life of my children. And the baby I had that is without a mama sitting at CPS. I'm just going to go party, allegedly. Then you got Daniel, that, goes against all odds in all interviews, and rather than inspiring the public to want to continue to help find Jack and Lilly, he'll tell you everything's done. He'll discourage you and say there's nowhere else to look. Against all normalcy of all parents, Daniel is discouraging every time he gets on an interview. They're going to bring in the canine dogs for cadaver searching. Daniel's interview? Defensive. I know they're not going to find anything. I can guarantee they're not going to find anything. How discouraging. If these children were just lost, that goes against the entire narrative of loss, because you, as a parent or as a boyfriend of the mother, if you're not involved, you're innocent, you're definitely going to want hope. Something, right? I know, Granny. Everything Janie said was hateful. Let's get back over and, yeah, this is going to get wild. I got to find our goat. Trigger warning. Take your headphones off. If your boss is listening, mute. A little goat. We're about to get into something that just literally knocked my wind out of me. A mini true crime deck, Nina? I gotta write that down. Hold on. All right. Get ready. Get prepared. We're going to jump into this, but I got to write that down, a mini true crime deck, because that would be amazing. A pocket size. Pocket size true crime deck. All right. Wrote it down. That was a good idea. So, let's look at this. So after we saw those messages from Kiki, there are some that are alleging, some are alleging that this is also from Kiki. My complication is, look at this. Do you see a name? Do you see anything with a name? How do we know who posted this? Are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Yeah, they could have locked him out. Okay, let's get into this. It says, next question. How did you something in a car seat and have him left upside down in a dark closet for hours and still stay with him? What does that mean? Oh, it says, so this is to Malaya, a question to Malaya. Next question is, how did you know, and I'm sure it says that Daniel put Jack in a car seat. I'm just guessing that that's what it says. How did you know that Daniel put Jack in a car seat and have him left upside down in a dark closet for hours and then stay with him? They go on to say, you watched your kids get severely abused and you're trying to throw all this on Daniel when you're just as responsible to remove them from that environment, and you had help from lots to leave. And you're only talking about it now? Talking about what? Like, why only now? What? Is there a conversation before this where Malaya is telling someone that Daniel put Jack in a car seat and hung him upside down for hours in a dark closet? And they're saying in response to that, how could you know that and stay with him? Then going on to say, you can, and you're only talking about it now. Like, why only now? And then it says you can manipulate the media, but your family knows the real you. You're evil and manipulative. You did see the name last night? Was it Kiki that said it? I couldn't see it. So, remember all my gut feelings that Jack isn't with us anymore? And that his air was cut off? Well, if he was in a car seat, there's straps. What if he was struggling to get out? And it was wrapped around him too tight. Now I'm going to ask you a question. When Daniel went in there at midnight, was it because he realized he forgot Jack in that situation? I'm asking only because it seems so weird to flip the light on unless you need to see what you're doing. I could see having a flashlight. I could see opening the door enough that the light comes in on the kids, but to flip the light on at night on sleeping babies, I think that was a mess up on his part. I think he turned the light on because he didn't hear Jack anymore. If that's true. If any of this is true. Because those vehicles were heard by the neighbors being left between midnight and 5, right? 1 o'clock and 5, that would be right after the midnight light click on. We've all suspected these kids weren't there in the morning. There's no food missing. Do we need more? No chairs out of place, no food missing, nothing missing out of the kitchen. That's a good question. Allegedly, Lilly had been pulling her hair out. And Renee Harper is asking, what the hell did he do to Lilly to make her pull her own hair out at 6? Maybe she wasn't. Maybe that's what they were telling us. Maybe somebody else was pulling Lily's hair out. I would flip the light on if I heard somebody choking, if I heard, if I was alert to need to be able to see what's going on. Like I'm alert. If I'm going to flip the light on in a bedroom at night, it's not casual. It's I'm on alert. I want to be able to clearly see something. Did Daniel go in there at around midnight in frantic panic, flip the light on? And is that why he buries his face and cries in the beginning when he talked about Jack? Huh? Oh. Pride and Candy says, I don't understand how his parents haven't been taken in on just negligence. Shauna says, this is the first of me hearing about being in a car seat for hours upside down. This is just awful. Those poor wee souls. I don't know if it's true, but if Kiki is saying it, where'd she get the info? Because if you go back, this message is in response to something Malaya is saying. Because this person's saying, why are you talking about it now? Like, why only now? So Malaya had talked about this, allegedly. And she knew about it. And this person's like, why would you stay with him if you knew that shit was going on? And says her dad told her. This is scary. Donna says, I believe those babies are gone. Blame them all. Also, the car seat thing is not possible. Death would have occurred. I'm not sure on the last part. All right, you guys, I want you to listen to this. Make sure it's loud enough.
Maybe you tried this as a kid, challenging your friends on the playground to see how long everyone could hang upside down from the monkey bars. You could feel the blood rushing to your head, and maybe you lasted a few minutes before giving up, because it's pretty uncomfortable. Or maybe an adult told you to get down because your head will explode, or something silly like that. Well, it turns out that hanging upside down isn't all fun and games. Because if you do it for too long, like a few hours or more, you actually could die. Now, it's not a common thing. Most of the reported cases involve people getting trapped upside down somehow, like a man in Utah who got stuck in a cave and died after 28 hours. Medical examiners call these deaths in a head-down position reverse or inverse suspension. The exact reason why hanging upside down can kill you isn't totally clear, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. In a lot of these cases, the official cause of death is asphyxiation, or lack of oxygen. Physicians have proposed that when you're upside down, your liver and intestines put extra weight onto your lungs, making it harder to breathe. But others think heart failure is usually to blame. If you're flipped around, there's a lot more blood flowing towards your heart than normal, and that makes it harder for your heart to pump it back out. Eventually, your heart isn't able to pump enough blood to keep your body going, which is called heart failure. If being upside down increases stress on your heart, that could also explain why it seems to take less time for older people or people with heart conditions to die in these unfortunate situations. Then there's all that blood in your brain, increasing pressure, and that could rupture a blood vessel and trigger a brain hemorrhage, damaging brain cells. But strangely, forensic scientists haven't seen a lot of brain bleeding in upside down deaths. Even if you don't die, hanging upside down could still be dangerous for your eyes. Your eye is just a squishy orb filled with fluid, which focuses light onto your retina so you can see. And things can go wrong if that fluid is at the wrong pressure. When you're upside down, the pressure inside your eye can double, and a few people have reported temporary vision problems. So it's probably best to stop those kinds of playground challenges and
Okay, you guys, I'm still here. I'm just answering. People are messaging me, are you live? So that I have to stop during the live to type yes. All right, so remember, he's the one that checked on these kids, right? Okay, you're right, Luis. But they aren't dismissive of the vehicles coming and going. They're saying the Daniels vehicle didn't come and go. To me, I feel like there's more to the story at night. Diane says, Wade even said MBM didn't show emotion when she was at their home before running with Meadow. MBM left because she knew her babies were gone and knows her part, in my opinion. Could be. Hi, Yvette. Prime Candy woke up to it snowing. I did too. Well, I didn't wake up to it snowing. It started snowing right a little bit before this live when I was on the other live. Tammy says, why hasn't the mother said something all this time? What do they have on her? My heart breaks too. So you guys, is it possible that he did this? Oh, Rhonda, you could be right. You could be right. Maybe Daniel took Jack out of the car seat thinking he was asleep and put him in bed. He would realize by the heat of the body, I would think, and only later realized he was in fact deceased, hence the frantic coming and going that night. That's what I'm saying, Liam. You're with me. I'm asking that too. Is it possible that Jack passed at midnight when that light went on? When you remembered something? You're like, oh shit, I've got bread in the oven, right? And you flip on the bedroom light. That's why I said, if this is true at all, then they're all monsters. Yvette says, I'm going to have to watch this from the beginning. All right, lovely. Well, we appreciate that. So that's my main thing. I just was floored by that. Now, there's more. I was watching another creator that spoke of this witness that saw, check this one out. This witness is claiming that she actually saw with her own eyes Meadow being held by Malaya standing in the driveway with Daniel talking to Darren O'Getty's son, allegedly. But that's what she's claiming. And she said she's had to slow down because Jack and Lily, and she thinks she knows it, were at the driveway playing. Now, this would have been before Dollarama. So the kids were seen on camera after that. But yeah, that could make you think of a pickup, right? Picking up something that you're delivering when you go into town. Makes you wonder. Oh, Diesel Weasel, another reader kept getting bats hung upside down. Well, I keep getting the Hanged Man, which is hung upside down. So I'm going to be pulling cards here in a little bit. That's a good question, Heather. If any of this turned out to be true, then what would have become of Lily? She would be a huge liability. I haven't seen anything about arrests coming. Heck, at this point they're saying, we don't even suspect foul play. We have no evidence of foul play. Shauna says, I can give one explanation as to how this makes sense, all the stories of it. Justin could have sold them rugs and kids got into them like Darren could throw out. Well, let's talk about O'Grady, right? We're going to call him O'Grady. Why would you insert yourself so deeply in a missing child's case as to go as far with your idea to confront the RCMP and do major news media interviews? Could you be that ballsy if you were actually part of the cover-up and you're trying to control the narrative? Because somewhere around that little property where that person allegedly saw Jack and Lily playing very close to the road and they slowed down at O'Grady's son's property, allegedly, nearby there is a junkyard full of old cars. I bet you there's a trail that leads to it to protect his son. That's what I'm wondering. So they disappeared together, and yes, why are the police saying no foul play? What a ridiculous thing to say. It doesn't make sense to me. They're all guilty. They're all covering. They've all got shit on each other, too, I think. Donald says, I wish the cops would have done for us is to tell us, in fact, Lily had a black eye on the first. They must have seen it on video. Wouldn't that be a great asset to know? Prime Candy, 11 months as a starlight. You light up my life. Being silly. Whoa, looky. Hey, O'Grady. Here goes the total BS. Why'd you do it? Why would you put yourself right in the smack dab middle of a missing child's case? Not to come out here and incite people to look for the children and spread missing children awareness, but to stamp your own certified, I guarantee it, that was your words, I have them in print, I turned them into the RCMP, you guaranteed it, those are your words, where the children are, and then not produce. Not follow through and produce. No. There's another reason you're in this. And I believe that it is control. And I think, there's something to this, Mr. Durwood. And that's kind to say because I have no respect for everything that you've done. What have you done to the Jack and Lily case? Have you helped it? No, you haven't. You've produced nothing but idle words and misdirection. So we'll dismiss you because I'm just not going to give you no more attention. But I do think that there is a reason that someone inserts themselves so deeply, and I mean right in the thick of it, between Jamie and Daniel coming out here. And it took a while for us to know that he actually knew Daniel. Remember? We didn't know where he got all this info from. He was all like, spy game, like, I can't tell you my source, bullcrap. And then finally he's like, well, yes, I talked to Daniel. Yes, I know Daniel. Then we found out they've known each other for years and that Jamie knows him. And then Durwood comes out and says, oh, this is everything Jamie told me. And then Jamie's like, I got the idea from Durwood. It's a whole shakedown to keep it all like roiled up and everything confusing and messy. But the real truth is something happened to them kids. And I'll bet you it happened before that morning because there was no food gone. There were no diapers changed. That mother called both those children in at 6 something in the morning. They knew. Jamie knew. Nobody heard them kids that morning. Nobody laid eyes on them kids unless it was just Lily. And they had to figure that all out, right? Durwood says my angle was trying to help my family find out what was going on. You didn't try and help your family find out what was going on. You came out here and you told us your theory. And you pushed your theory down everybody's throat. You were not looking for help at all. You were looking to incite distraction. And that's what you've done. Would I help you say you wouldn't help your family when they ask? I would help my family. I'd be sharing missing posters. I'd be encouraging people that all options could be available because I personally don't know what happened to the kids, right? I don't know what happened to the children, so please keep your mind open. I would not tunnel vision everybody into this narrative that I've got all screwed up in my head that even the RCMP won't listen to you on. You can say, you podcasters, first of all, you need to, get a little bit more hip than that. I'm not a podcaster. And you called me sick. And you have the nerve to act like you know. Been in this case long enough to know you inserted yourself into a situation where you push your narrative, which is drawing a conclusion on something you should know nothing about, really. Even if you heard hearsay that the kids are somewhere, it needs to be stated it's a possibility that this happened, not that this is guaranteed that this is what happened, unless you can produce evidence. Just saying, but we'll quit arguing with you because you just give me a headache as always. As always. I smelt a rat with you from the day one, and you've always been hard to talk to, so Yeah, tell us where the kids are. That's how we all feel. There you go. Oh, Grady, read that. The people covering this up should get the same sentence as the perpetrators. I know, I want that. After I saw Justin go over that junkyard, I was like, oh, please, please check the junkyard. And it's weird because we all call her Junkyard Janie. Was that our intuition firing off? Right? Reminds you of a slug, Claire? Hey, Claire love, good to see you. Man up, Durwood. You have to have balls to man up. Just saying. Right. People do actually care, Diane, about Lilly and Jack Sullivan very much. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Like I said, grain of salt. I don't know if there's any truth to it. I have no proof. But when I heard all that, it's got me freaked out. I'm like, what? Ah, welcome back, Claire Nunn. Months as a Starlight voice. Thank you, lovely. Greatly appreciate you. Annie's got the last sentence of the night. Are you ready? Last post of the night. The 3 adults on the property all played a part in what happened to these innocent children. They all belong in jail, in Annie and Mai's opinion. All right, you guys. I'm going to jump off here, and we're going to jump over onto Crime Story Mama. I encourage you to continue on with us. Unless you're Durwood, then go away. Go away. Just don't have time for you. You're just a distraction. I love you guys. To the moon and back. Always and forever.